to Let Chance Encounters. I'm here today with one of my oldest and best friends, Matthew Knapp from Knapp Restorations. Odd calling you Matthew Knapp because I never knew. I have known him as Zalgar the Dragon for the last few years and the Captain before that. A lot of people listening might know him as that as well. But we're here to talk to Matthew, the owner of Knapp Restorations. That's the personality we want today. Tell me, man, how did you... Man? It's a Chain of Strength song now. Tell me how you got into Knapp Restoration. I know that's a long story, but what was the origin of your passion for cars, and how did you get to building the cars that you build today, which it's truly amazing to have watched. I remember when you were detailing cars at Bentley Chevrolet in Derry, to now building $200,000 amazing, perfect show quality vehicles. What was the journey there?
So, obviously, this is an easy talk between you and I. You know my family. We've lived together, et cetera, et cetera. My dad was a car guy. I was just raised around it and always saw him customizing, rebuilding, building hot rods. My dad always had the latest, greatest, and coolest cars. So just even as a child, like, you're drawn to that. So then as I became a young adult and got more interested and got my own car, then it turned into like, oh, I can do this too. And from there, my father was an exceptional hobbyist. I decided to take it to a professional level. I had a couple of great mentors show me how professional level restoration and customization was done. And then from there, I just took it and turned it into an actual career. And I've been doing this now, as you know, this will be year 27.
That's crazy.
Insane. And yeah, I started off literally cleaning cars. I just wanted a job. I offered to wash cars. And that's how I got my professional start.
Yeah, I kind of remember it, and even from then, I feel like you had kind of a vision of where that was going to take you. Do you think that?
100%. I've always treated myself as my own brand forever. Even when I was working in other shops for other people, it was, I'm going to do things that help me progress to where I want to go. Like back 25 years ago, it wasn't as easy to walk into a restoration shop. There just wasn't the need for it. The cars I do now, 25 years ago, were decent cars. Now they're worn out cars that need everything, and the restoration has really changed.
Right, because I don't think people don't think about that like the cars from the 60s and 70s are 25 years older now. Like that, they just keep getting older. Yeah.
I've seen cars now that have been restored 2-3 times.
Right.
I'm actually doing a car now that it's on its third restoration. It's a 78 Trans Am, which is insane to me because when I was a kid, at 20 years old, I bought a 79 Trans Am for $1,000 and drove it home.
That was a 21-year-old car. Now it's a 50-year-old.
Yeah, that would have been in '99, so it was just a 20-year-old car.
Yeah, that's crazy. Barely a classic.
And honestly, it was a piece of junk then.
Yeah.
These cars that I restore, the Chevrolets, the Plymouths, the Fords, everyone looks back at them with like this like crazy rose-colored glasses on how cars were cars then. Yeah. They were awful.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They're
not comfortable to ride in.
No.
I've been in some with you that I'm just like, why would anybody want to even be in this car? You took me out in some vet one time that wasn't restored, and it started raining, and I had like a literal bucket of water in my lap within seconds.
Yeah, I mean, from the factory, so obviously I specialize in Corvettes. I've been doing Corvettes now like 25 years. I've been playing with fiberglass. I've owned quite a few. I love them. They're my favorite marquee to do. The way they were designed, especially the 60s ones, they're either a coupe or a convertible, and the coupes have T-tops. They didn't make an actual hardtop version. They all leak. It's a hard thing.
And thought of as one of the best cars ever, right? Like, I mean,
what people don't understand, so muscle car era is a really tough one to discuss because people consider a Corvette a muscle car. They would consider a Chevelle a muscle car. They'll consider a Mustang a muscle car, and they're all just such drastically different vehicles, right, but they all fall into that V8 machismo vibe, so it's a muscle car.
Yeah.
Whereas the Vets are sports cars.
Is there an actual definition of muscle car?
Yes, it is a passenger vehicle that has a bigger motor. And so essentially, the muscle car era was born with the 64 Pontiac GTO, which was a Tempest that was just a mid-size car, be the equivalent of buying a Toyota Camry now. But what they did is they took the Tempest and they put the biggest, baddest motor they could and stuffed it into this medium-sized car. And that was the first muscle car. All of a sudden, now you've got essentially a Toyota Camry with a Supra motor in it. and it was just crazy, and it was a
See,
progression.
I never think about it like that because to me, I've always known them as just these special type of cars.
There's in true like the muscle car is bullshit. Like anyone that doesn't get this, it's like the muscle car era. Even the baddest ones were so rare. Like everyone thinks like, oh, I've got a Chevelle and it's got a big block. Well, 99% of the big block Chevelles were 325 horsepower. The legendary 450 horsepower was like 1% of production. But what it did back then when these cars were super mechanical, a kid could go and buy a plain Jane Malibu and go to the junkyard that weekend and find a big block and in 5 hours do the swap and have a raggedy old car with a ton of horsepower that sounds awesome.
And you can't even work on your own car anymore unless you're specially trained, special equipment. Like, that's just impossible.
My new truck goes to the dealership to do a service.
Yeah,
I can't.
right.
I have no clue how to work on it.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
You've been doing cars for almost 30 years, and you don't know how to work on a vehicle. It's just insane. You didn't used to, even when I met you, like, I could go, hey, can you fix my car? Yep. And you could. But in the last couple decades, it was...
Well, to put it in perspective, those were also 25-year-old cars.
That's true, too. Yeah, I was broke and buying
we've been playing with
cars, yeah.
I mean, again, we were kids.
Yeah.
Like, I always remember, like, the first car I painted for myself was that red Jetta you owned.
Yeah.
That I never
owned or never drove once it was painted.
So last year was the first time I painted a car for myself. When I painted my red Corvette, it was the first one I've ever done.
What was your first car you ever owned?
When I was 15, I purchased, sight unseen, a 1982 Mercury Capri.
So before you even had a license?
I was about to turn 16.
Yeah.
I had saved like $800 from birthday presents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad called me. He's like, do you want this Capri? And my dad was custom car guy. So I'm so excited thinking I'm getting something awesome. I'll be honest, it showed up at the house and it was such a piece of shit that I sat in and I cried. Because I'm like, this was not what I expected.
Yeah.
And it was so like,
Dad, what about the Shelby?
it's more of, and I understand it now why it was that way, but in the time it's like this thing had blown out seats, was just the raggedy.
But as a kid, you're going to destroy it anyway. I mean, I still destroy my cars every time I get them. So
you're rough.
Yeah,
you're rough on things.
I am not. I have a big dent in the front fender because I hit my own garage over the winter.
But also, we know. Have you ever seen me treat cars like that? Like my cars are always pretty nice.
Yeah, you love cars. I don't give a shit about cars. Right. I don't. They're just. If I could just be teleported from place to place, I'd never see a car again. I don't like them.
My new cars, I'm great. Like, I just bought that Maverick. I don't care about it. It's I've had to. Before, every car was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Now I've learned that it's like, it's just transportation.
Right.
Like, I don't give a shit about a 2024 Ford.
Well, also, if you're merged in it all day long, too, it's kind of, you lose it kills your passion. So. It's sometimes a careful what you wish for type of thing.
Oh, there's definitely a part of this that's cursed. It's like, I still love, like, cars are the baseline of my life. Do I enjoy it the way I did? No, but I've also gotten to experience, like, you've seen my career. I've done cars that I thought were untouchable in my career. And now I'm like 45, like, oh, what's left on my bucket list of things to build?
Yeah. Not much, right?
Yeah.
What is the dream? What would be the idea? What's a pinnacle? Or do a Mount Rushmore of vehicles that you'd like to work on?
That I've got left or that I've done?
That you want to, do both.
So I want to do a 71 or 72 Chevrolet C10.
So super specific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've done all the loose change stuff. Like,
yeah.
I've done it. Like,
that's a pickup truck?
Yeah, like my blue and white one.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a...
Let's back that up for a second. He sends me out in this blue and white Chevy pickup one time. Does not tell me about what I think something that I didn't even know about, mechanical brakes. Was that
It didn't have power brakes.
Didn't have power brakes. And I'm crossing 106 in Loudon. I'm coming up to the stop sign, and I hit the brake, and I just went right through it. And that's like a 60-mile-an-hour busy road. I had no idea that this thing was not going to stop when I hit the brakes.
Yeah. That truck was a lot of fun.
You actually many times have assumed that I know things that I don't know with vehicles because you were like since a child in a junkyard,
Yeah, like my father ran an auto dismantling shop for years, Corvette's parts business. I was raised on four-wheelers, snowmobiles, things like I understand how to deal with mechanicals.
So one of my favorite moments in my life of him assuming that I would know what to do was when I ran him over with my pickup truck. He had sold me a
83 long bed Chevy pickup.
Yeah.
I'll tell the story because it's a good one.
For it, yeah.
So it was a pretty decent square body Chevy pickup. Like I'd kill to own that truck today. Like, those trucks are untouchable now.
I left it on the side of the road in Manchester till it was hauled away, and then I signed the title over to the title company.
I remember it was
the towing
a
company.
305 automatic long bed, but a pretty decent truck. Had kind of okay paint on it. But we're also talking, this would have been, what, 2010?
Yeah.
2010.
Sure. We know that because we owned a house together that we lost that year. That's why we know that.
There's a lot of my life that I literally date by pre-losing that house as opposed to the house. So it's But no, that truck, I remember you drove it and the transmission went bad in it. And at the time, those transmissions are notorious for going bad. And I owned a ton of vehicles that had them and was very good at swapping them out. So I believe you and I did a backyard swap on it.
You and Kyle.
Yeah, me. Kyle Raymond and I.
Yeah.
Did it for the sport of it.
Yeah.
I had access to a
no, you and Kyle did your wagon.
My wagon.
That's what it was. I don't know. I don't think I was around for the first. I think you were like, I sold you the vehicle. It died immediately. I'll just take care of it. I think the first time I didn't have anything to do with it. The second time I did.
Because it was just, at that point, I think I was 30, and it was just getting tiresome, literally lifting, because this is on our backs, putting transmissions in. Kyle and I did it for fun, just to say we did it. But your truck...
In the dirt.
Yep, in the dirt on a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
But yours, I remember we changed transmission out. We did it a couple times.
Yeah.
Because we were getting junkyard transmissions.
So the second time was you had that shop in Loudon.
Yep.
That's why I had been driving that truck out there in Loudon. But you had that shop there, and you got pulled away for I don't know if it was something with your son or something that day, but you got pulled away, and your dad came, and your dad literally told me step by step how to change the transmission while sitting in a chair not looking at it.
Smoking cigarettes.
Smoking cigarettes. He goes, okay.
In the shop.
He's like, okay, now you're going to need an extension, and you're going to need a 13 millimeter, and you're going to need, and there's going to be 6 bolts. And he literally talked me through swapping that whole transmission without looking at it. It was wild.
I mean, when you've done enough of them, it's those old V8 automatics were so easy. Like, looking at them now, it's so purely mechanical. I mean, don't get me wrong. To this day, I still don't know how the inside of an automatic transmission works. It's fucking magic that I don't get, but I don't need to. I'm not a transmission guy, so. But no, so I remember we were moving out of the house, living on a slight incline hill, and the shifter, because you're so rough on things, I remember you just smashing it into gear.
It's my fault. It's my fault. 100%.
100%. I fixed the lemon, and then you were just so rough on things. I mean, at the time, you were like 300 pounds of mongoloid.
I don't know. It was a couple of years past MMA. So I probably had gained a bell back.
But you would literally just grab the shifter and smash it into gear, and you literally knocked the linkage loose. So there we are, in pretty much an empty house on a hill with a couple drive-up ramps, which are the most dangerous things known to man, and me underneath there trying to...
I did work on those all the time. Yeah. Remember I had that van?
The van.
I changed so many parts on those ramps.
Yeah. I mean, on flat ground.
Yes. True.
There, we on a slight incline, so I'm under there, we're adjusting, and I remember telling you, make sure your foot's on the brake. Okay! So the first couple times we adjust, I say, hey, go around the block. You're like, yep, it's still a little out of sync. Okay, put it back up. We do this 3 times, and I'm completely underneath it looking up, and I'm like, all right, put it in gear. You weren't even in the truck, just smash. Truck starts rolling off the ramps. I shoot out from under it, runs me right on over. But it was so bad. I remember this day. I was so mad. I was screaming that you were fat. I thought of everything.
You fat fucking idiot.
Yep. It was just all the insults.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
But we didn't even have...
I had never been so happy to have you yelling at me, though, because it meant that I didn't crush your head.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, yell all you want. You're alive. I'm happy.
This story is so ridiculous and so much fun. So remember... we lost our house, so what did I decide to do? I went and bought a race car. I went and bought a 64 Ford Falcon with a 302 and a Ford and a 4-speed to go drag racing with. So I had sent my dad to go get the car carrier and drop me off at the house to adjust your linkage. I call him like, hey, Dad. I'm like, just kind of hustle. Alex accidentally ran me over. Now I'm completely in shock. My elbow had popped out of the skin. I wrapped it up in a cloth, went down to CVS, which was 2 blocks away, and bought some gauze, just wrapped up. My dad comes. He's like, all right, meet you to the hospital. I'm like, no, let's go get my race car.
Yeah.
I went and got there. I'm completely in shock. I'm sweating. I'm out of my mind.
Yeah, he was pretty close, too, because you screamed and then got in the car and left.
Yep.
So I didn't...
It was all pretty quick.
There was no, reconciliation between us.
Yeah.
You're just gone. Yeah, keep going.
And so we buy this stupid race car. It's on, and I'm like, Dad, just drop me off at the hospital. I'd called, my ex-wife at the time worked in a medical office. So I'm like, hey... Alex ran me over. Can you get me in right away? She's like, just get here. I remember getting in there, and I don't do good with seeing my own blood. They unwrap me, and the doctor was explaining what's happening. I'm good. I'm standing up. Yeah, this is all good. And then all of a sudden, he moves my arm, and blood sprays all over the wall. I start laughing. I pass out. At the time, I'm living in a condo in Manchester with Metal Mark, old Manchester legend there, of a crazy person. But it was Friday night. Being Friday night, very specific on this, because we were heavy Magic the Gathering players. I literally went from the doctor. I took a taxi to the tournament, was fucking mangled on Vicodins, won the tournament, beat Jack Champagne in the finals to win a Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Fuck you, Jack.
Yeah, fuck you, Jack. And your brother, Pete. But no, it was just one of those, like, truly, like, I'll go to my grave remembering just how ridiculous that entire
I remember
game was.
walking into Magic that night, and you were already there. You were shuffled up, playing a game, completely calm. Like, you were run over 6 hours ago. I don't think we had talked at all, because I didn't even have a cell phone those days.
I don't remember being mad
Actually,
at
no, I
that.
did. You forced a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone for years, but when we were living together there, one day you just showed up and you said, "Here's your phone. Here's your phone number. You owe me $60 a month or something. I'm sick of not."
I've done it to you many
able
times.
I'm sick of not being able to get a hold of you.
Alex, give me your social security number and bank accounts. We're buying a house.
That's,
I remember that
that's
day.
pretty much how
It was,
went down.
hey, either we're going to both end up renting or... Because I remember I was already pre-approved. It just wasn't enough. And I'm like,
Yeah, and then we went into
We're like, we might as well
GAMC, I believe. Was that the name? No, wrong actor. GMAC. Shadow Chris Drew. No, but
honestly, still to this day, you know, Chris Drew taking us, you fucking won, motherfucker. You got me. There's some inside jokiness going on there, Chris. Like, you know what?
I mean, it's so inside that nobody listening to this is gonna know.
But Chris Drew, if you hear this, you got me once, and it was a good one.
No, but yeah, GMAC.
Yeah.
Other, I got dyslexic there.
So,
do you remember the meeting where we talked about how I had only had income for like 1 month at that point?
yeah.
Maybe a year. It wasn't long enough for what today's standards of mortgages would be, for sure. And he was like, the loan officer at the time was like, explain why your gap in employment. And I was like, you were like, oh, he plays in a band. Yeah. Like we played like weekends and we did like one tour. And he was like, oh, we'll do a letter of explanation that's a losing business. You were owning your business and it was losing money, which wouldn't even today, even if that was the truth, wouldn't fly.
Outside of this, how many conversations we laughed about our buying experience then?
Oh yeah, hilarious.
We used the selling agent as our buying agent. Like, no wonder we didn't get a break on that one.
But it's great. I mean, I've been involved in almost 200 real estate transactions now. I can count on one hand the amount of times somebody didn't have their own buyer's agent, and it actually made sense that they didn't at those times. Like, yeah, crazy. I was 20.
You were 21, I was 24.
Yeah.
When we started shopping.
Yeah, and no experience, no parents helping us. We just went straight to the listing agent. I'm not going to say her name here, but or the nickname we gave her.
Very politely, like,
if
for some reason she watches this, fuck you. I'll say that nicely.
She's still around. She still does.
She ain't selling shit. She was awful. We know it. We talk so much shit about her that it's not even funny.
I remember you. I always think about this one. Because I actually, I pay for repairs all the time for my clients and like help them out and whatnot. But I remember, thinking back, she was double-siding the commission on that.
Oh yeah.
The things are different now with commissions, but she made double what she would have made if we came with our own agent. I remember we had the foundation looked at or something by like a foundation guy, and he came and then he was like, "Oh, that's going to be $100," and you're like, "She's got it," and he just walked away and she was like, horrified. But I was like, "Yeah."
I was so sick of her at that point.
Yeah.
Well, she would not only like take away the our own stupidity. I'll blame that first house completely.
Yeah,
on us.
I'm not blaming anybody else for the fact that we ended up where we ended up.
But
for sure, but there were very unprofessional things happening around us for sure.
In the moment in 09, 010, we decided to lose that house. Like, I was so pissed. But now looking back, it's like that was the best thing we ever did.
Oh yeah,
because we both rebounded. So
I tell
much.
people so whenever I'm talking to people that are nervous about buying a house, I'm like, the absolute worst thing you can do is get foreclosed on. The worst thing that can happen, and it's not that bad. Especially. Odds are, if you're in the position where you're going to get it foreclosed on, and there's exceptions. There's people that go in hard times, and it is a rough situation. But for the most part, if you're going into foreclosure, you're probably not that happy. Well, like your situation needs to change somehow. So losing the house and starting over, 100% the best. 100% the best. And like I moved in with Aaron. We've been together for 15 years now, almost 16 years. And it's like, had my life, would my life have gone that way? Would I be happily married with a kid? Like, I don't know. Probably not.
Absolutely not. You and I would have killed each other.
But yeah, we just stayed in the house.
Yeah. But no, I tell you, that's actually, since you bring that up, like, for some reason, people think I'm a real businessman, not just a car guy that just doesn't like to be told what to do. So when I talk to people about business all the time, I'm like, if you go off on your own, like if you're working a job and it sucks and you go off on your own and you fail, who cares? Like,
100%.
Who cares?
Yeah.
People don't, they take everything so seriously, like, oh my God, what if I fail? Well, fuck it, fail.
Yeah.
Like there's no...
Well, I mean...
How many times have you seen me set up and fail?
Have you failed? Yeah.
This is round 3 for me.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
again, I registered my first business when I was 19.
And I wouldn't say that you failed you didn't fail either. You consciously transitioned. Maybe it wasn't working the way you wanted it to work, but I don't think you...
No.
You didn't, I don't feel like you ever crashed and burned, did you?
On what level? Like, as a technician...
By your opinion, that's all.
Yeah. As a car builder, I became great through my failures.
Yeah.
Like, learning how not to do things. Learning, like, oh, that doesn't work. Working for free. Not knowing the bigger scale of... When I started doing restorations, I had no clue what I was doing.
But everybody starts everything they do with no clue what they're doing, right?
I didn't have good... Like, I went from... I always wanted to do restorations. I didn't want to do... Essentially, I'm a fancy body man, but I'm not a body man. Like, I'm not a collision guy. And at the time, I was working in collision shops. That's how you had to get your start. Like, just to learn chemical procedures, the basics. There was no restoration shops to walk into then. Believe me, everyone that was around, I tried.
Yeah.
To have a job to support, I mean, I had my kid at 25, house at 25, things like I had to make real money. I couldn't go take that $8 an hour job to learn how to sand Corvettes. So to be in the collision side of things, those guys are the most pessimist people I've ever worked with in my life. It was miserable. I personally can't stand body men in general because just how fast can I fix this dent to get money?
Yeah.
And I was always like, well...
I worked with you for 2 weeks at Mako. I know all about how fast can we fix it to make money.
But I learned a lot of Mako. I actually say, like, out of all the shops I worked at, out of the most influential, that place taught me how to see my work quickly. Like, I could learn, like, I mean, again, I must have been like 22. If I fixed a dent, it was painted 2 hours later. I could see my work. I could see what I did good, what I did bad. And where the stakes were low, I learned how to get good quick. And I've always wanted to be good. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to do this bad because I'm at Mako and I can. There was a lot of guys like that. And I was only there for a couple of years.
I mean, they'd almost punish you for doing good.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
100%.
I got fired for taking too long
to
do things. Like, that I was just trying to do right. Within 2 weeks.
But the bodywork side of things, they don't teach you quality. They don't teach you and understand. It's just how fast, fix that, make it look presentable, get paid.
Yeah.
And
how quickly can we turn this 92 Honda Civic from blue to purple?
Right. And honestly, like, I've never concerned myself with money. Money has always been so secondary to me in the grand scheme of I want to be a good craftsman. You and I actually...
But that's how money comes. Doing the best at what you do is where the money comes from. I say that in real estate all the time.
I'm still waiting for it to show up.
I never... You've done fine. Just... Don't get divorced. Just don't get divorced.
We're protection.
That's the biggest thing I've learned from real estate is don't get divorced because I see it so much.
Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. You do all right.
But no, just... And again, we circle back. I treated myself as a brand. When I was in a shop that wouldn't let me do the quality level that I wanted to, I would just leave.
Yeah.
Then at 30, I landed at Cruiser Solutions. And
what's Cruiser Solutions for people?
Cruiser Solutions is a shop in Hampstead, New Hampshire that specializes in restoration of Toyota Land Cruisers. Now, at the time, I had no clue that there was
Not Land Rovers. They get very...
Correct. No, it is Toyota Land Cruisers. The greatest off-road vehicle ever made. And I met a gentleman named Ted Brown. Ted was a wonderful mentor for me. I worked for him for 10 years. I would not be in business today if it wasn't for what I learned from working for Ted. But Ted was not a hands-on craftsman. So within the first year there, I was helping his operation, setting up standard operating procedures. But he taught me the actual business side of it, like how the professionalism has to come first. He taught me one of the most profound things I ever said. When I first started working for him, I was wildly picky, just trying to prove myself, because the shop was, at one time, and I don't know if it still is, I just don't follow it, it was the second best Land Cruiser shop in the world. Yeah. When I tell you we had worldwide clients, I had people flying.
I remember you literally shipping cars overseas.
Yeah. I mean, I've had 4 continents now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, how many millions of dollars of Land Cruisers did I build? But Ted taught me, the ins and outs of business. Ted came from a very high-level business background. A business family, and just the things I took from him have served me. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for what he taught me, because everybody else had being pessimist and not understanding the restoration industry. That's all he knew. He had never. So he built a business before, like that man could not paint a panel to save his soul. He could barely turn a wrench, but he understood business.
Yeah.
And so what I learned from him was, oh, here's the nuts and bolts of money. And one of the things he told me after like my first 6 months of working for him, he's like, hey, he goes, you might be the greatest tech I've ever had. He's like, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is if we're making money, because you can be the best, but if we're not making money, I can't let you do it. And there was a switch there, like, and I fought it, because I'm like, everyone always taught you perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect's not real. I've never built a perfect car. I built some exceptionally nice stuff. I've seen perfect, and now.
And anytime that anybody thinks they're perfect, that's like the death of them too.
For real. Or I tell my clients now, it's like, again, after my shop is small, my shop is essentially a two-man studio shop is how I view it. We're a small studio building high-quality cars at a proper pace and with the proper attention to detail. But no, perfect's not real. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, very, very nice. Like, I still love buffing.
Well, the neat thing that I've learned from you, because I briefly worked at your shop, helped out a little bit, is that, like, when you're doing a true restoration, sometimes you're not even going for perfect because they weren't perfect from the factory. That's a neat little thing.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about, like, intentional overspray because that's how they didn't tape it in the factory, so you don't tape it when you paint it. Yep. I always thought that was
we were doing a Chevelle, that green Chevelle it was painted, so from the factory on a Chevelle, the Mustang I'm building right now, we just did the same thing. We built a 67 Mustang Coupe turned into a 67 Fastback with all Shelby spec, and where it's a straight up fake car, we're trying to make it feel as original as possible, so we used the proper color primers, like unless you're like an absolute Shelby fanatic, when we're done with this, people will think this is a real car. Now, I'm being very honest, it is not. But it's going to have the feel, and the biggest thing is the experience. Part of what I do in building cars, I build experiences for people. It's people, you can't buy an old car. You can go buy a new Hellcat, and it's a modern marvel of 800 horsepower nonsense, but it's not the same feeling. That's the biggest thing I've really learned about, like, what draws you to cars. Why do people spend this much money? It's a feeling you just can't get in.
Yeah.
And I feel like to this day, that has never left me. Like today, if I was doing this today, I got a deadline on Trans Am, but I'm like, damn, I want to get my vet out of storage. Like, it's time. Like, it kills me. The whole winter, like, I deal brutally with seasonal depression, and the first time I can take my vet out, all of a sudden that just gets forgotten about. It's like, oh, hell yeah, we're back at it.
Why do we live here? Why don't we live somewhere where we can drive the vet all year? I ask myself this all the time, and it's my wife's fault. She won't let.
Thanks a lot, Aaron.
She won't let me leave.
We can go compound up somewhere. Thanks, Aaron. No, honestly, New England's the best. You've traveled a bunch.
Yeah, no, I agree, but the winter is brutal.
The winter,
I have a tough time.
I've also gotten, the older I get, the worse I am at being a hermit. Like, I don't like going out anymore. Yeah. Like, even living downtown Portsmouth and stuff, it's like, I'm just going to stay upstairs.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So
100%. I don't want to. My job is talking to people all day long.
Right, like
yeah, I'm done with it.
That's a real problem.
And I don't mean this podcast. I mean my actual job.
Yeah, no.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm pretending I'm a professional podcaster.
I have a hard time doing car shows now. Like,
yeah.
You've seen me, like, I used to think I was a pretty social dude. I'm not. Like, now
well, old car guys are some of the worst punishers on the planet.
You know what it really is?
It's a lot of the, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Type of guys.
It's hard being professional. Because what people don't get when they talk to me at car shows, if I take a client's car to shows, and I do, my metric are is like, sure, did my shop hit its numbers? Am I happy with it? Like, at the end of the day, like, I build other people's cars using their money, but I do it for me.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, like, if I'm happy, they're happy, the money was made, my employees are happy, that's a win. So then I take this thing that I spent 1,000 hours on to show the public. And again, we'll call it like 1% of the car show people walk and be like, well, I would have done this.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
At that point, it's like, well, cool. Let me build you one.
Go fucking do it.
Well, that's it. And
I'm offended for you right now.
Dealing with I have the best time with other professionals. Like, I have friends of mine in the industry that I get together with on a regular basis just to, like, have venting sessions. Because it's such a weird business anyways. It's like, how many people actually get what I do? Nobody.
Yeah.
Hell, Sundays.
I have a bunch of real estate friends like that. It's like we're the only one, and you can't
can't
really, even like on this format where I'm pretty loose. Like, I still can't share my true deepest thoughts about real estate with. I only like people who really get it.
Yeah, and it's to me, it's like how many other people have spent? How many other people have done $100,000 paint job? How many people can
yeah,
actually...
You're in a 0.01%.
And that's it. Like, how many people have built a $500,000 car?
Yeah.
Not many. So it's like, how many people... And I ran into that, like, professionally, like, even dealing with paint companies. Like, who do I turn to?
Yeah.
Who the hell can I turn to actually talk about this?
Yeah.
And that's when, back when I was flying around to the seminars and doing speeches and things like that, because it's like...
Yeah, I've gone through that with real estate, too, is like going and, traveling and seeing, like, where can I find like-minded people? Because even here, I mean, there's people way more successful than me, but we're not on the same wavelength, too.
We can say this now that it's like, define success.
Oh, yeah,
what's
for
successful?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a whole... I mean, I meant in the traditional financial, measurable, but yeah, no, 100%. Success to me now is just, am I happy? That's the only way I'm going to measure it.
That's it. Like, everything else now is completely secondary.
Yeah.
I actually shrunk my shop down because I was sick of just not being happy. And it's like, wait, I got this. I
understand, because I'm around Nick a lot, too. I would have had to get rid of him all.
I was around Nick. Shout out Nick. I love Nick. Nick's the best. Nick designed everything.
Nick loves you too.
Nick is the man. Nick designs the shirts, logos. I got to trade him some pasta pretty soon.
That's what you pay him for design work?
I will say.
I don't want another invoice from you. I am making you pasta salad.
But I had been planning to go in that week and quit because I was...
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, I really
you can't fire me. I quit.
That day was bad. That day was a bad day, and I was like, I don't want to do this to Matt.
And this isn't like... I loved working with Nick because Nick is one of my favorite people. But it really shows the difference of... And I don't know if... We allowed to talk about your background here?
Yeah.
Nick has a background in commercial collision.
Right.
And it's one of those... Think of it as if we were cooks. You give a chef a T-bone steak, and you give the guy working at Applebee's a T-bone steak. It's coming out different.
I can't believe he just insulted you with that.
I'm like a McDonald's.
Okay,
fine. Like a McDonald's play. Dude,
Yeah.
100%. And honestly, there was a lot of blindness on my end too, because like I didn't know, but like what Matt does is not. It's more like dealing with like an Andy Warhol or like someone like it's like a real artist. It's not someone who's just doing a commercial job.
It's not $1 margarita.
No, and I mean Nick's point is correct. It's like I treat it as an art form.
Yeah,
and
and it shows. I mean, it's clear.
Yeah. Like, and I love what I do. Like, I am married to every car I've ever built. Like, every car I've ever built that has, like, really, like, one of my full jobs will always be mine.
Yeah.
Like, the 57 Chevy, wherever that is in California, that's still mine. Like, the one that, the Nomad, that's still, my fingerprints are still on that one. We'll call it like the 30 Land Cruisers. I can tell you intimate details of every one of them. I'm going to tell you, like, the things I know about my cars and the things my clients know about my cars. Not that like all my stuff's videotaped. My clients get videotaped every week to see exactly what we do. Videotaped.
You old ass.
Yeah. What else do you say? Okay, they get their video files, their Google Drive, which, and honestly, I'm so bad at technology that
That's why Nick's here. I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I'm a caveman, but I can weld. I can weld like a motherfucker. And I can sand paint.
That's technology.
Yeah.
Science.
Believe it or not.
Real science. You're a scientist. You're a mad scientist.
So I went from being taught how to MIG weld to TIG weld to now on a gas weld. I spent a little bit of time working on vintage Ferraris and learning how they were built. And if you want to talk about true art in mechanical, I don't think personally, to me, Ferrari is the pinnacle of beauty and mechanicals all mixed as one. And they were gas welded.
You know what's funny? That reminds me. We never got to your list of cars you wanted to build. That was 35 minutes ago.
All right, Ferrari 250. I would love to do.
You did say it was a some year of C10.
C10 pickup truck. Yeah. I'd like to build a Ferrari 250 from scratch. They were built from scratch back then. They could be built from scratch now. There's companies doing it.
By scratch, you mean are they metal cars?
Yeah, but they're all hand formed. No two panels are the same on any of those.
Wow.
They're all.
So you can just take sheet metal and really make one.
You mash it out.
Wow.
And they're the most beautiful cars ever made. Like that early European race car, we'll call it like 50s to 70. Cars will never be like that again. They will never be that beautiful. They will never have that feel. And that's across the board. Like, still to this day, to jump into a 69 Corvette, there's a level of noise and sexiness and just the feel that you can't get anywhere else. Like, I chase that high every day of my life. It's like, I just want to get in.
The table just moved up 3 inches with his lap underneath it.
But that's the truth, though. It's like, anybody that doesn't think that old hot rods have a sex appeal to them, it's just wrong. Like I wish I used the lowest common denominator to advertise more, but for some reason in my head, like I'm still like an avant-garde artisan. But
Do you really need to advertise? I mean, I feel like because you don't need a ton of Nick and I were actually talking about you yesterday because he asked me who was coming in, and he said something about like learning from you because I was like he only wanted to know the questions ahead of time for this. I was like I hope he's not too stiff, and like and you've been great. So all my fears are gone. But yeah, he was like I just throw anything out there. I could probably maybe learn from him about being more intentional. But I was like it's two different things. He's trying to get internet famous on YouTube, right. Reviewing snacks. You need like what 5 clients a year, like
5 a year. So, and again, here's another weirdo part of my business. We don't sell finished cars. We sell blocks of time.
Yeah.
And once our blocks of time are full, that's it. We don't have... And that was another thing that took me years to learn. And it's actually one of the things I'm proudest for coming up with as a business person. It's changed the way I spend my time. Because before it's like, I got sick for 2 weeks. Where do you come up with more time? You can't. There's only so many hours in a month. And
I'm born just to start dying.
Thank you, Death Threat. Probably the greatest hardcore band of all time.
For sure.
All right, we'll talk a little bit of punk rock shit here. We were punk rock.
We still only got to 2 cars, but we'll abandon that conversation. No, talk the punk rock shit.
Punk rock shit. All right. So I always felt like we were very good hardcore kids. We supported just about damn near everything. Like we lived it. Took every demo, gave it an honest shake. Did the label thing, did the DIY thing, did all kinds of stuff together in that world.
Missile Kick Records, hell yeah.
Missile Kick, Rocket Punch.
I wasn't going to give Rocket Punch any credit.
I mean, fuck you, Rick. Still to this day, forever and ever. If anybody sees Rick Jefferson, fuck him. And then really, Johnny took it over with Arrest Records.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's nice to still feel connected in certain ways, even though I'm aged out. I went to a show, I went to that Haywire show, and got called Sir. I was just moving through, and I'm like, excuse me, and the guy's like, yes, sir. And I'm just like, fuck.
I went to the Haywire one. Oh, yeah, we were there. We were both there. The Haywire show in Concord, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So I was, it was way too full, and I was standing at the back window. I mean, for my standards, it was perfect for hardcore. I'm just old. But I was standing outside the back window. There's a group of kids watching from the window. Yeah. And some kid started talking about his dad was working the door. And I was like, oh, I was wondering how that old guy got there. And as soon as I said it, I'm like, he's wondering how this old guy, me, got here also. It's like, I actually have shared the stage with the singer of the headlining band, but I just look like an old man with my old man clothes. I think I was wearing khakis.
Remember when we were kids, there was always like those, I think the dude's name was like Sean from a real old weirdo. We were always like, what the fuck is this guy? Where are those guys now?
I don't know the specific, but I can think of. I mean, even it's funny. There's guys that I thought that of that were like in their early 30s that I thought that of. Like,
yeah, I literally feel like I just
like there's certain guys I've been calling old man since literally they were in their 20s. I remember J Lo. We used to call J Lo life. Like,
how is he still alive?
Why? One whiskey a day. The funny thing about Jay, I love Jay. I consider one of my good friends. I spent a lot of time touring with him. I had to laugh so hard when I went to the benefit for his was it kidney failure or whatever.
You called to complain about this afterwards.
And he's drinking whiskey, and I was like, dude, you're literally in kidney failure. Why are you drinking? He goes, well, they told me I could only have like 8 ounces of liquid a day, so I'm just doing it all in whiskey today.
The nickname fits, you know what I mean?
J-Lo life.
How many times we adventure with Jay? Jay's something.
Jay's I'll say this and then I'll ask him if he's okay with me putting it into the world.
Just do it.
But he one time he told me we talked about something got brought up about crack. And he's like, oh, I never did crack, but I did a second-hand hit once. And I'm like, what the fuck is a second-hand hit? And he goes, well, it's when somebody else inhales the crack and then they kiss you and blow it into your mouth.
Sick. Good job, Jay.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. I think he was telling me that girl, he was telling me a story about her...
I assumed it was a dude.
Picking, like sifting through the carpet fibers to try to find little pieces of crack. Drugs are crazy. Drugs are very crazy.
I don't enjoy the company of crackheads.
How did we get there?
We brought up Death Threat.
We brought up punk rock. Yeah,
let's get out of that.
As soon as I talk.
So C10, Ferrari 250. I'd love to do.
No, tell me about your favorite fight. No, go ahead.
So this guy at ICC Church in no,
that is a good one. That's a good one. I'm fine with talking about that one because there's no real crime involved or anybody getting badly hurt. You're looking at me like,
nope,
crazy.
No, thank you.
Yeah, well, this was a man that five of us tried to fight, and we lost. So that's
He offered me a one-on-one. I just said no. Absolutely.
Yeah, after it was all done, he said, "You and me one-on-one." It's like
I just shook my head. No,
five of us.
No, sir. No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. C10.
Ferrari 250. I would love to do, and I'm actually in talks on this right now with a gentleman. A '69 Camaro with the flair of a early race car, like a road race car. I'm not a real drag race guy. I find drag racing to be like interesting because of what it is, but road racing is a whole other sport. And the muscle cars that were used for road
You're talking like illegal road races?
No. Track based.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway, road courses, things like that,
Okay.
autocrossing.
I gotcha.
I love sports cars. Like I love Corvettes because like not only do they go in a straight line, they can handle, I mean, for the most part. Things like that interest me way more than 6,000 horsepower in a straight line for 12 seconds.
Yeah, drag racing seems dumb to me.
It's super fun. I go once a year. I take my vet once a year to say I did it. Like it looks fun. I get some cool pictures.
How fast do you get up on drag track with that?
I think the last time I was spinning through first gear and I ran like a 13.9 or something like that, which isn't fast.
What's the actual speed? I don't know how long.
I don't know. It might have been a little over 100. It wasn't fast.
So it's nothing crazy.
My Corvette's like it's not fast. It's a sports car that'll take corners and things like that. I purchased a Triumph Spitfire last year, which is like a 50 horsepower British roadster, and I'd never had one, and the experience is the best. It's essentially it's not a car; it's a go-kart on the road, and I've learned so much from working on it.
Shit like that feels way faster too when you're.
Oh,
in it.
no joke.
Yeah.
So there's a certain point on 93 that I usually take at like 120 miles an hour. It's in the Triumph.
Attention, police.
It's been a while. In the Triumph, you take it at 50, and it feels faster.
Yeah.
And the car's it handles.
That's probably safer. Well, I mean, less likely to get a
really
ticket.
is.
I don't know about safety or crashing, but
Oh, you just die.
less likely to
you
go
just
to
die.
less likely to go to jail.
So-
Yeah, no crumple zones in that. Huh?
Do you remember the black Cobra I had a few years ago?
I
So
can't keep track.
I had a replica 427 Cobra built off of actual Shelby specs with a real 427 in it. And the first year I hated it because I didn't understand how to drive it. Then I learned how to drive it, and it scared the death out of me. And I just stopped wearing my seatbelt because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And I had to tell my kid
We
this.
said we were going to talk about suicide on this pod.
No, this is just reality. I mean, I think any car person will tell you this in all honesty. It's like, I love driving cars so much that if my legacy was, you know what, I went out doing what I loved and I crashed my Cobra and I died, sure. Like I feel like that's fitting. And it's not suicide. It's just like, you know, I don't want to be the guy that gets old and rots with dementia or cancer or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
all right, fuck, we'll have a quick suicide talk here. The day
Norway's got it right.
Norway's got it right. The day I find out I have cancer, I'll still tell you, where is that? We lived in Pittsfield. I forget where it was, heading north. There's that curve that looks into the lake. If you find me in a fucking red Corvette in that lake, you know what happened. Like, that's no joke. Like, I am not going to sit there and rot. And it's like, like, let's say in the Cobra, it was always like, hey, if shit happens, fuck it. I know I'm driving one of the most dangerous cars ever made. And it was terrifying. That car is the first car to actually scare me. To the point where it got sold because I'm like, I don't trust myself with this. And I've owned some dumb shit. That was it. I'm like, I'm not responsible enough for this. And I have a wife and kid at home.
I can tell you the first time I was ever scared in a vehicle was a friend of mine in high school. His dad had like one of those 80s Mustangs. It looks like a cheap Ford.
Yeah,
like it really
Fox body
does.
Mustang.
Yeah. But we lived where I grew up was all hilly and windy roads, and he would go 90 to 100 on the windiest roads, tires screeching the whole way. I remember one day he brought me to the house, and my mom was like, "Why am I smelling burning rubber?" It's like, "Oh, because it took us 7 minutes to go 20 miles." Yeah, that's scary. And then the next time I was scared in a vehicle was your Turbo Beetle.
Hell yeah! Shout out to the Turbo S Beetle.
Those things were that
thing was
crazy.
nuts. Nobody gave that car credit. That car hustled.
Yeah.
So I had bought my ex-wife I think like 6,000 miles on a special edition Turbo S Beetle, which was a upgraded turbo, 6-speed, and then I had it tuned and an exhaust put on it. The thing was like 280 horse. It's faster than a Vet I've ever owned.
It's like
and that thing flew.
It's crazy because there's no part of you getting into a vehicle like that makes you think that it's going to be that fast. You get in that going, oh, there's a little joyride in a Beetle. It's the most uncomfortable back seat I've ever been in. Also, going super fast.
You're not designed for that.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm not designed for most back seats, but that one was extreme for sure. That was that was like the next, like literally. I'm not nervous. I remember, so I had the friend with the Mustang, and then another friend of mine flipped over a Nissan Pulsar.
Yep, I remember that.
End to end. We went in. We were going crazy fast on a dirt road. End to end flip. He went into a ditch, hit a boulder, and like flipped end over end. We landed on the roof backwards. My head, it was a T-top Pulsar. The tops were off. My head dragged on the ground, all cut to shit. Broke my arm in 3 places. Yeah, I mean, you've witnessed many of my head traumas. Yep. So
Ogre origin story.
Yeah, I mean, CTE is probably going on here. But yeah, no. So the only times I've been scared was that Mustang. Then right after that car accident, I was scared of my own father's driving, who was like the safest guy ever. And I was scared of I was yelling at him on the way home from the hospital to slow down. He's like, I'm going 10 under. Like I was still in shock from that accident. And then that Beetle. Those are the only times I've really been scared in vehicles at all, which is crazy.
My dad made me cry in a 71 or 2 Corvette before. I remember that.
How old were you?
7 or 8. He was driving like a mad big block Corvette.
I can't even imagine doing that to my kid.
Maybe
she's 7.
It was probably just enough to throw me around.
Yeah.
And then when I was 19, he bought a turbo Porsche, and that car scared me.
My 7-year-old's still in a booster seat.
Really?
Yeah. She's very short. She takes after her mother. But back then, it was they had car seats for like 2 years.
Yeah. My dad tells stories of having a 68 or 69 AMX. So an AMX is a little 2-seater sports car made by American Motor Company in 68 or 69. And they put big blocks and 4-speeds in them, and they were very quick. And since there's such a short wheelbase, it had this area like the size of this table, just a dead shelf in the back of it. So he would put me in the back. Him and Don, my dad's bodyman friend, former employee of mine, would put me in the back seat and go to Elm Street and do wheelies with me in the back of it.
I was just who was I? Oh, we were just in Belize, and down there it's pretty normal for people to ride around in the backs of pickup trucks. And I was telling Brighton, I was like, Grandpa used to let me ride in the back of his pickup truck like that, like right down the regular road, 40 miles an hour. No care in the world. Yeah, no care.
That was normal life.
Yeah. Now you go directly to jail. You put your kid in the back of a pickup truck.
I mean, think of how many kids probably. I mean, I don't know anyone personally, so who knows if it's real. Got bounced out of the back of a truck, smashed their face open, shit like that.
Oh, it had to. I mean, just the odds of it.
Yeah. I get bugged out when I see people put dogs in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
That's still.
Me too.
That pisses me off.
Yeah, and it's like also like the dog didn't make a choice to risk its safety. Like even a kid is less. Because the kid can go, hey, Dad, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But the dog can't say anything about it.
You know me and my dogs. Like I like my dogs more than people.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's Kobe up there.
Yeah. He's
bummed that I'm out and he's not with me right now. He was so sad when I was leaving. He had to hang with Mike.
He's the only person that's ever been sad to see you
Bullshit.
leave.
So what are we talking about now?
We're going to finish this list. This is now a record-setting episode of length.
List.
We're going to finish this list, and then I'm going to, and then you can plug whatever you want to plug to help people know where to find you, and then we'll wrap up.
So we'll say C10, 71 or 72 C10, luxury build. I want to build something that feels like a stock truck, but has air conditioning and leather and power, like essentially everything you could get in a new truck, but in the body of a 71 or 2 Chevy pickup. They're my favorite trucks of all time. I've had multiples, love them, and would love to build one to the level that I can build now. 250 GTO, someday. I've been working on plans for myself. I've actually been collecting information on how to do it. It'll probably be 5 years before I can start on it, but that's a personal project. I'm gonna create a sports car for myself from scratch at some point here.
That was the Ferrari.
The 69 Camaro.
You did it.
Road race.
40 minutes to make this list. No, continue.
We'll go with that. I'd like to do a Porsche. I'd like to do an old 911 for somebody. Like old 911s, that scene, I love those cars. I actually have one coming in the shop pretty soon for some paintwork, nothing major. But I love the way they're customized and restored. Like those are a sports car that people use as cars. And I'd love to find someone with the pockets and the lunacy to let me build a C4 Corvette the way I want to. Like along the lines, like I have a personal C4. They are the bastards of Corvettes. I love them. Like I truly have grown. I bought my first one because it was affordable. I bought my second one as a parts car for a pickup truck, and that foolish car is, I'll die with that one. Like that's the one. And it's a 90 Corvette with a 6-speed and heavy duty suspension. I would love to be able to put my touches on things the way I do with the vintage stuff on those. Even though like a 90 is it's an old car now.
1990 was 35 years ago.
Yeah, but that's still so in '84 when they switched to the C4 chassis, that's the beginning of the modern vets. And the problem with modern vets is every new modern vet is the best modern vet. So every year they get better. The C4 is a good platform. The C5 is great. The C6 might be the best vet ever. The C7 is amazing. These new C8 rear engine things are wacky. I don't understand them. They're not for me. Like I don't want one, but I would love to be able to restore and customize a C4 with a couple $100,000 budget to really just let me do my thing to one. One huge influence of mine was...
And that's probably a car that's not going to be worth a couple $100,000 when you're done.
None of my cars are worth money.
Yeah.
If you want financial... Like, everyone... We'll touch on this while we're talking. Everyone... This is a real one that I should get in here. Everyone always talks to me like, is this worth it? Is this worth it? No. Yeah. Let me take it. I am not your financial planner. I am your hot rodder. Like, I'm your old car guy. Is it worth it? No. Take your money. Save it. SB 500, real estate, do anything is a better investment than 90% of cars. But if you have that love of the old car and that feeling, if it gets you, and it's not like you're not a car guy. You have never like given a fuck about cars the way I do. And I respect it. It's like, but if you get that bug where you got that feeling like, oh shit, I need this, it's almost like unquenchable.
Don't get me wrong, if I had stupid money, like if I had like it's one of the last things I'd ever spend money on. But if I had really, really stupid money, like billionaire status money, I'd come up with all kinds of dumb cars. But it would be the goofiest, stupidest shit.
It'd be like, but it would mean nothing. Like the people that the hardest thing.
It wouldn't mean the same to me as an actual car guy. It would just be me playing around with my stupid money.
The hardest part of actual business for me is my clients, and they're all great. This isn't me shit talking my clients. It's that they've waited and saved their whole lives, had this dream in front of them. And they commission me to build it, and it's a hobby for them. It's a big dream, obsessive. When I tell you like details matter,
and you're talking probably guys in like their 50s and 60s who've been thinking about this since they were 16 years old.
I'm building a car right now for a gentleman that's had this car, I believe, from like 1982. This is someone's third restoration. Yeah, and it's a challenge getting him to understand that hey, this car's lived its life twice. Yeah, everything I touch is just worn out because the car's been used, abused. He did when he was a kid. The history of this car, I love it. Like I really love these like family cars, the long-term cars. Those ones always feel good because it's like, yeah, you're blowing money left and right, and I make no bones about it. It's an expensive hobby. It ain't getting any cheaper. Everything keeps going up.
Yeah, my nostalgia is Red Sox tickets.
Yep,
like mine's cheap. I just bought front row tickets.
Are you going to opening day with us?
I wasn't invited.
Okay. Shout out Johnny Limit.
Thanks, Johnny. No, I've never been invited to baseball with Johnny. Right. I would go. We'll put that on the record. But
you're married. You can't.
I only see him every 2 weeks, so
lack of marriage. You can't go.
Oh, okay. I'll get divorced so I can go the rest
there
of the
season. No,
shout out to Jesse Kim helping me out, selling me his season tickets front row. I'm taking my dad on his birthday. That's awesome. My dad sat there, my whole childhood dragging me to baseball. We went the first Fenway game. His seat was literally just post like this, right in front. Could not see anything because it went
obstructed view.
He thought it said partially obstructed view. I think on the ticket. Right?
Never.
Yeah. So, but and then his company had season tickets to the Seahawks games, and we would go every single weekend. I remember sitting there till 2 a.m. in a rain delay during a 14-inning rain delay playoff game. We were the last 10 people in the park because it's minor league baseball. It's Double-A baseball, and they were a Florida. They were a Marlins. I
thought you were talking Fenway. Where were you?
No, this was Sea Dogs.
Oh, okay.
Back when they were a Marlins farm team. Nick's telling me to wrap it up. Probably
I don't support Sea Dogs. I'm a Fisher Cat
probably
guy.
because we're running on a battery or something. That camera's dead. So. That's all right. But yeah, we got to get my
now. Forget it. If you want to keep going.
Well, now you ruined it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
No, this is the longest pod we've done. So
how many times in my life is Nick gonna ruin things?
Yeah, I know.
Wait till you come back. I got to the big plan.
Fuck up your whole business and come here and fuck up your podcast. I mean,
it's fine. We still love Nick. Nick's the best.
No, we'll probably just have to, if we're going to start going into longer territory, we probably just have to plug them in.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. But anyway, where can people find you? What do you got going on? You want to know?
I'm kind of difficult to get a hold of. 603-587-0944.
That's some true old guy shit, giving his phone number out on
For
the
real.
podcast.
I'm terrible at social media. I really am. Good at building cars, bad at... You can find me at Knapp Restoration on Instagram. I don't even have a Facebook page. I don't even have business cards. I do have an opening this year, though, which is a first. I'll have an opening this year to build something.
So if you got something to build,
something interesting.
Preferably a C4 Corvette that he can do whatever he wants with.
I want a limited budget for a stupid car.
A limited budget on a car from the 90s.
Yeah. Because I can't afford to do mine the way I want to because...
So yeah, hit him up, Knapp Restorations on Instagram or that phone number you just
I should say this, you can find me at the New Hampshire Muscle Cars Facebook group. I'm all over that. You will see me at all of their shows. That's the best club in the world. I should mention more of how much the New Hampshire Muscle Car Club means to me and how good it's been to me throughout the years. So New Hampshire Muscle Car on Facebook, 12,000 members, the biggest car club in New Hampshire, puts on amazing events. I can't speak highly enough of them. I would not be in the position I am today if it wasn't for Phil Manroe and his muscle car group. I remember when that was just an idea, then all of a sudden now it's like, big shout out to Phil for pushing.
It's fun to be at this age and have seen things grow like for so long
From
now,
nothing.
like all kinds of things that our friends in music and like just seeing what everybody with businesses like. Johnny and Josh with their barbershops and the token stat and all the stuff that all our friends do, and it's cool to be at this age now where you get to watch things grow like that.
Austin Haywire is a fun one now. It's like, it's all.
Yeah, I mean, we
our
know
friend
when
circles.
He's a 17-year-old kid moved
Let's say it's like
with nothing.
It's
and
nice to
owns
see
multiple businesses and tours the
multiple
world,
businesses. It's like I love seeing my friends happy and successful, like whatever their dreams are. Like whatever, it's like you're killing it with real estate. The boys got barber shops. There's a million things going on. It's like hell yeah, like point blank. Like we didn't touch on this, but for a lot of kids that came from not so great backgrounds and nothing to be self-made, like everyone was self-made, and that's sick to be like, oh hell yeah, we made it. Yeah. Like hell yeah, we're still standing, doing better than like if anybody ever told me 20 years ago, shit, I'd be doing this, or you'd be doing that, and no, we were supposed to be in prison or dead. Like this is just good for everyone. Like good for all my friends that sobered up. Good for.
I haven't drank since October.
Good job.
After I went 15 years without drinking and decided to have a drinking problem.
We're strangest kid I know. But that was.
It happens.
If you didn't, I was like, you're a fucking sellout, but it probably saved your life.
Yeah, I mean, it was the day I can remember very clearly. The day I started drinking, I had just a complete meltdown, and I said, it's either this or let's end it. Yep. I need to numb my brain, and I did that for 7 or 8 years. Maybe close to 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. 7 or 8.
Good job at cleaning up.
And then I said, nope, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, that's
because I just can't stop.
I can have a couple drinks now. That's it. Like, I stopped smoking weed.
That I haven't given.
That's a weird one for me. I love it, but
it's just nighttime usually.
It was my downtime, but. The access to it of good weed at dispensaries is sick, but I started getting paranoid. It's like, this isn't fun.
I am started. Erin quit because she was just giving her anxiety.
Yep.
And I've started to get there too. And it's less fun that I'm alone doing it. And I also feel like I'm ruining my wife's evening every time I come up to the basement and start talking. Have you ever thought about this thing with aliens or whatever?
I lost too much weight to get that type of munchies.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm still down 50-something pounds. I don't plan on picking that back up.
So quitting drinking, like I fixed, like I was doing everything right for a little bit, but now I've started, food has become a replacement addiction again. Yeah. So I'm battling that again. But it's, me, I've lost it. You've seen me lose 100 pounds twice. Yeah. So
I can push you to get to 400. Like, we're going to do it. Once in your life, you have to hit 400.
357 was the record. I think if I hit 400 now, I'd probably just die of a heart attack tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it is scary. I mean, again, you and I have known each other for, I don't even know how long.
2001 or 2 we met. So probably 2001.
We'll just say it's been a bit to
24 years.
To watch like legitimate health issues come down the line now. It's fucked up. It's like, oh shit. Yeah. Like my ex-wife just had cancer. That was terrifying. Yeah. Like it's like shit. I buried a lot of people over the past couple of years. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
We're really, in my head, I'm still that 22-year-old kid at the shows, but in my mind, it's like, oh, fuck, I actually am 46.
No,
Like,
but it could, a phrase that comes up in our world, our punk rock world a lot is anybody can get it, but now it's.
But now, yeah,
now we're
heart
talking
disease
about
or
that.
cancer.
Like, yeah, heart disease, cancer, emphysema. It's.
And it's a real one. It's
scary.
like it's happening left and right. It's like anyone that's still live like, and again, we've pushed some bad narratives about partying and things like that in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit. I'm glad that everyone that we did that with is in a much better place.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's really scary. It's like when you're partying, when you're fun. I know this is getting a little weird out of card, but it's like partying when you're young. It's ha ha he he. We've literally watched friends liver failure. We watched friends get DUI and go to jail, like over partying.
Yeah.
And I've watched people have coke addictions. I watched people have heroin addictions, and it's like, damn.
I had to go to a meth house once.
Yeah, we've
friends,
we had an intervention on a homeboy, like to help clean him up, and it's like it's no longer cutesy.
Yeah.
It's like, again, partying will always be glamorized
Drugs
because
and alcohol are bad.
They're bad.
I think it's just you think that would be pretty obvious. They started Dare with us when we were like 8 years old, but
when you're in your 20s and it's easy and it's fun and you get these like crazy life stories that come up from them. Like, I don't bullshit about it. Like, I've had a lot of fun times being drunk.
I have very few regrets. Also, even through all of that, there's very few regrettable moments. Most were good. Most I can look back on fondly. But the ones that I regret are pretty bad.
Yeah, and then that's like, we didn't have the ones, like, we didn't have the life killers that some friends have.
Yeah.
Like,
I always look at, I think about it too. Like, we're starting the podcast over again. But I
Take two. We'll do the punk rock one. We'll get into it now.
But I think
now I'm loose.
Well, the world that we, the punk rock world that we were both part of for so many years, so many people like have these tragic upbringing stories that I hear about. I grew up very normal, rural, like good parents that were together, and I still ended up.
Yeah, but you wanted it. So, point like, you and I have talked about this a couple times, where it's like, I thought I lived a Brady Bunch life, and you actually explained to me that I did not.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
I thought I did though. Yeah. I always thought like my life was.
I mean, there's been much worse. I mean, we have friends that that went through much worse.
But I would say like you were one of those kids, and sure, I'll take a little bit of credit for being a bad influence on you. It's
100%.
You wanted it.
Yeah.
No one. And I've been accused at certain points where it's like being a bad influence, but it's like nobody's hung on me that didn't know what they were getting into at the time.
I was also I experienced some bullying when I was younger, and I did why don't I become the bully a little bit? I had a bit of that.
Same.
Where that's that was I grew up a little too dorky. I mean, my dad was a brawler when he was a kid.
Yeah. Shout out Armin. Hell yeah.
But he was the type that said, "Hey, just put your hands down, walk away. It's not worth it," because he'd seen some shit that taught him the lessons. But there's also, I think there's some that you do need to stand up for yourself. You can't be a pushover. There is a place.
The middle ground is
so hard to find.
Yeah,
for sure, because and it can be addictive to once you're like, I can have the upper hand. It feels good, when you've been somebody that didn't have it. But lesson to all the kids out there:
don't drink, don't do drugs, don't fight and stab people.
You don't need to fight. I never stabbed anybody. Poking always blunt objects were fine with me. Poking was a problem.
Yowzers.
But don't. There's very few things that are worth fighting over. But actually, causing violence to somebody is very few things. That's for sure. But stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody
let
anybody else hurt you.
Figure out where you are and then the scale of that. And sometimes it's like the consequences, are they really worth the action?
They're usually not. They're usually not.
Yeah.
And the dumb things that I fought over the years, certainly.
Oh, yeah, you were a fucking idiot. Straight up fucking the worst. Dumbest. Still to this day, I clean up fucking bullshit of yours. It's fucking 25 years too late, and I still get fucking... your fucking buddy Alex? I'm like, yeah, fucking thanks. Yeah, I still have to babysit this fucking ogre. Thank you.
Well, it happens. Fucking... You know how many times I've had to... I don't even start with
Not once.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah. Clean up every broken thing in our apartment that you went on a tirade
on.
That was his stuff.
Yeah, I owned it.
All right.
We wrapping this up? How long we talk for?
Let's wrap it up.
All right. So business-wise, I like building cars. If somebody's looking to do a nice project, hit me up.
He won't fight you. He's over it.
No, not really. I just want to be left alone in the woods to build cars. Yeah. I hang out with my dog. I hang out with Mike Hughes. We build stuff. Hang out with Nick sometimes. No, life's really good now. And it's taken a while to get to this point. I'm happy of myself with the craftsman. I think what I build is nice, and other people seem to like it. I've won enough trophies now to like kind of have like some real credit for this.
Yeah, you don't have to have imposter syndrome anymore.
I still have it.
I know.
Still wildly have it.
Happens.
Like, yeah. Every day it's a new challenge. Like, I'm building a shifter today that I had no clue how. I'm like, oh, I'll figure this out, I guess.
Yeah, but how most people go, I can't do this.
Yeah, I didn't have that option.
That's the part that makes you not the imposter.
Yeah, it's always
because you will figure it out.
It's all small problem solving that turns, like I would say, like I'm always building a puzzle that it's trying to get to the end that has to look better than the box picture and be nicer, and the parts don't fit, so you make them fit. And
that is a deranged statement. I'm trying to build a puzzle that's better than the box picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never hit that goal.
Oh, I do. All of them. Like, it's not hard. On a 60s vet, it's not hard.
The picture doesn't have cutouts in it. I'm saying if it's true to that analogy, the picture on the box is always going to be better than the actual puzzle when it's put together.
Bullshit.
Am I taking it too literally?
Yeah. No, it's like if you have a picture of a Corvette, 60s build quality wasn't like today's. Doors didn't fit right, windshields didn't fit right. Things that was completely normal back then because cars were supposed to last 5 years. Now with the romantic,
you're making them better than a restoration.
Oh, I'm notorious. So I'm bad at regular restorations, but exceptional at over restoring stuff. Yeah. And that's nobody remembers, and nobody wants to remember like what pieces of junk they were, because now they're looking at it as like, oh my god, this car that I bought for $500 when I was 17, then now they're 65.
But my dad bought that. What does he have? 40s. It's
like a 48 Ford, 40 Chevy.
Is it a Chevy?
Yeah, it's like the one. It's like the one I
thought it was a Dodge. But anyway, he quickly realized, like, he wanted it completely original. He quickly realized it sucks to drive with all the original parts. Started putting in different suspension and different brakes, and it made it a little more modern. And that's really like, so we build by the hour. We don't give quotes. We don't give deadlines. It's kind of, we don't know what we're building because it's custom. Like right now, we're building this Trans Am that has a Chevrolet modern Corvette motor, a Ford rear end, custom brakes, a full frame. There's like, we literally joked the other day, there's like 8 Pontiac parts left on it. But figuring out everything to make the puzzle work is where the time is spent. The client actually said to me, and he's kind of right on this. He's like, your job's actually not that hard. It just takes a lot of time. It's like, well, that's almost every job, though. Almost every job you do, the actual day in and day out is actually, especially once you've been doing it a long time, it's pretty easy. Yeah. It's all the learning to get there. Learning the tools. And then it's the time consumption. Yep. Real estate's easy as shit. But 90% of people fail at it. Right, because it's hard. Like, people don't like doing hard stuff. But once you know how to do it, it's a pretty easy. I mean, there's no rocket science for sure. And I tell people, like, I sand for 10 hours a day. Fuck that. I hate it so much. It's not necessarily hard. It's just like that. This like makes me sick to think about sanding for 8 hours. I do one car. It takes generally like 4 weeks of nonstop sanding to get it ready for paint, and then it work or so. Remember when I worked at the stick factory? Yes. I worked at a. This is my last story, and then we'll wrap it. All right. But I worked at this fence factory in Hooksett. I'll call it the stick factory because I'm a guy we both know worked across from it, and I didn't know him at the time. And then we were out somewhere, and he goes, "Hey, you work at the stick factory," but it was a fence factory, and the sticks he's talking about it was like those silk fences that go around construction sites with a black fabric. So I cut the posts out of like 2x10 lumber. It was just put them in the machine. Put them in the machine, go around the other side and stack it. The best day I ever had was when they moved me to the sharpening machine, which was like a giant pencil sharpener for those sticks. But I was literally making sticks all day. I lasted 2 weeks because the 8-hour day felt like 6 years to me. Yeah. That's the same thing with sanding. Yeah. Matthew Knapp needs to pee. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for having me. It was a great. Good. We actually got to hang out. It was glad we only hang out during business now. Yeah, only hang out. I've heard multiple people on podcasts say that they have to monetize their friendships now. That's no joke. But yeah, thank you very much. Check out Knapp Restorations on Instagram. Thanks for listening.